Hey guys, it's Chad again. It is 2 a.m. on Friday, March 3rd, and the Nintendo Switch was just released at midnight. I was lucky enough to pick up 4 of them. I have 2 with the gray Joy-Con controllers and 2 with the red and blue Joy-Con controllers, and I also got a Nintendo Pro controller as well for it. I'm a little tired right now, but I'm going to run through a quick unboxing of the one for me, the gray Nintendo Switch, and I'll show what's included with it, my overall first impressions of it. If you like this video, please hit like. If you like my channel, please hit subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the space below and I'll answer them, so stay tuned. Alright, so the box itself, nothing too special. It's just a cardboard box, nothing fancy. The weight of the box, brand new with the Switch inside of it, is 54 ounces if you're curious about shipping it. And the measurements, rounded up to the largest measurement, is 14 by 8 by 4 inches. So first we're going to go ahead and just open it up. A little latch here. Let's see, it's got some instructions right on it. Number 1, plug it in. 2, set it up. There is no 3, but it tells you how to do it. There's a couple different languages. Talks about the AC adapter. When attached, the console, the Joy-Con controllers will also charge. If you've been watching and reading about it, we know that with the controllers on it, it charges the controllers. So inside, initially it's just a tad bit smaller than I was expecting actually. It seems like in the pictures and seeing people handle it, it seemed kind of big, but actually it's not all that big in my hand. So, little plastic wrapping. I see the USB Type-C port, which I like. Most of my devices have that now. Metal casing, it feels good, feels solid. And it looks like speakers on the back. On the back of it, we have the little kickstand for it, so you can set it up if you're playing, if you have friends around or anything. And then also under the kickstand is the micro SD port for an expansion slot if you want more storage. On top we have a power button, the volume, and also the game card slot. And it looks like a headphone port, and then you can see the little rails where the Joy-Cons connect to it. And the only thing on the bottom is the Type-C port. And that looks like it. On top, it looks like a little fan port. Probably I see a little heat sink in there. So set that to the side. We've got the Joy-Cons. This is the gray version. This is the version I want, just something kind of casual. They're very light. Definitely plastic. Don't feel bad. I mean, I have average size hands for a male, and I mean, not too bad. The buttons feel good. The joystick feels good. This also is a little button here, and then 2 buttons on top and 2 buttons on the side as well, and probably the power button there. I will find that out later. And this is also a button. So we got a lot of buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The joystick, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Get the other one out as well. This one has a home button here, a little D-pad button. Again, your standard Y, B, A, X joystick, and then a couple more buttons here, and also this is probably the lock. Yeah, it's the lock to keep it on once you slide that onto the unit itself. So let's slide that down on there. And it clicks in place, feels good. Pop the other one on. And yeah, I mean, it feels good. It holds well. I like how these here are raised up just a little bit, because when I'm holding it, that kind of sits just right. I can hold it and it doesn't feel like it's going to fall out of my hand or anything. It doesn't feel flimsy, nothing like that. Might have just a little bit of wobble. Mainly, for me, it's just this one over here. My left one has just a little bit of wobble. But it doesn't feel bad, it feels solid. What else do we have? So nothing behind there, nothing else in here. Let's see, Nintendo Switch, just talks about the system update, health and safety information. So it does come with the standard mount for the Joy-Cons. So we're going to press that button and this will pop right off. Press this button and this one will pop off. So if you want to use your kickstand, then you can mount these in here. And now you've got what feels like more of a typical controller. Now I did buy the Pro controller because I want the full solid feel for my hands. But this is a nice touch. Nothing too big. I mean, it fits well. It's not bad at all. Actually, holding this, I would probably be okay with this for a while. Not bad at all. Let's see what else we got. Alright, so we have two of these. These are the wrist straps for the Joy-Cons. We'll pop one of those off. So, let's see, where's our button? So this slides on. And that gives this even a little bit more, a little bigger of a feel even. So, fits your hand just a little bit better. These buttons work now. They're kind of loose sitting in there though. They rattle just a bit. And then this also has the wrist strap if you want to wear that, so you don't throw it or lose it or anything like that. Now, like I said, these feel a little tappy, a little loose, but these are pretty solid. When you press them, they don't rattle or anything like that. So I personally kind of like the feel of just using it like that, but I do see how it would be harder to press the buttons without this on. With this on, the buttons kind of stick up a little, so might be a little bit better for most people. Even me, it feels a little bit better in my hands if you're going to play two-player, something like that, where these have to be separate, the Joy-Cons. Also included, we have a standard HDMI cable to connect the base to a TV. Nothing special there. The power connector. Wall outlet on one side and USB Type-C on the other side. And for anybody curious, the input's 100 to 240 volts at 1 amp, and the output is 5 volts at 1.5 amp and 15 volts at 2.6 amps. And then this is going to be the dock itself. Very light. Make sure there's nothing else in here I'm missing. There's not, so get rid of that. Alright, so the dock itself snaps open here. We have the port for the AC adapter, the USB Type-C. We have a USB port and an HDMI out. It looks like it also has a pass-through here when this is docked. I'm trying to see what that could be for. I don't actually see anything. This little window here might just say Nintendo. Let's go ahead and set it in there and we'll see. So set right in. I didn't really have to move it at all. So that just lets it, looks like the speaker. It could be a fan input output, but it kind of looks like a speaker, but that just lets it see through right there. That's what that's for. I don't see anything else that would look like a speaker, so I assume that's what those are, but it could be vent. But easy to set it in. It actually feels like it glides, almost helps it glide right in. No, nothing aids it, but it sits in there very easily. And that snaps closed. So I mean, that's a very small little system, and that would look nice on a shelf in front of a TV or any kind of entertainment system or something like that. It's not really strong, no colors or anything like that. It just kind of blends in, which is a good thing, but it also looks really professional. So I like that. It's got the Nintendo Switch logo on the front and a little power light right here. It's got the symbol of a TV, so I assume that means it is outputting to your TV. On the left side of it, it's got two USB ports. On the right side, there is nothing. And on the front, nothing besides that light. Couple little rubber feet on the bottom, so it doesn't move. It stays in place really well. And that's it, guys. That was all that was in the box for the Nintendo Switch. So I will turn it on here in a second and we'll see what it does. Alright, so before I turn on the Switch, I'm going to also open up the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I bought this separately. This is not included with it, but it's a nice accessory and I think a lot of people do want it. For anybody watching this, I happen to get all 4 of these Switches at Walmart. I got 3 of them from one Walmart and 1 from the other Walmart. I live in a fairly small town, about 45,000 people in this town, and there's about 80,000 people in the other town. And the first Walmart, where the 45,000 population is, they said they got 22 total Switches in, and they had 8 of the red and blue ones. The rest were all gray. And the other Walmart had 18 total Switches. Out of those, 6 were red and blue, and they only had 8 pre-orders. The rest were just walk-ins that got them. So a good handful of people were able to get them without a pre-order. So let's go ahead and pull this controller out. There's also a cable inside the box, and it looks like that's all we got. We'll throw the box to the side. So the cable included with the Pro Controller is USB on one end, just your standard USB, and USB Type-C on the other end. Feels like a very thick cable, about the same as the HDMI cable that's included with the Switch. Just a little bit thicker than the power cable, I'd say, that's included with the Switch. Definitely a little bit thicker. So we'll take this controller out. I personally like the feel of the Xbox One controllers, Xbox 360 controllers. I know everybody's got their own preference, but that's kind of what I'll be grading this to. I don't like how small the PlayStation controllers are. Overall, though, it feels pretty good. Might take some getting used to. I don't necessarily, it feels like it might be a little bit smaller in my hands, mainly the part here that goes in my palm. But it feels good. I like it better than the two Joy-Con controllers on their mount for sure. But not bad. The thumb buttons here, the ZR button, I do notice the kind of the trigger here. It's got a little flange to it. Hopefully you can see that in the camera where it's just raised up a little bit, but that feels really good for my fingers. I like that. The buttons all feel really good, nothing too special. Have a minus button, a plus button, the square button, and a home button, then a D-pad, two joysticks. Both have the click availability, and the Y, B, X, and A. On the back, there's nothing. A little charge indicator down here on the bottom, two little screws on the pads here. These don't feel like rubber or anything. They're textured, they have little dots, but it is plastic. It feels like plastic. I can't, if it is rubber, it's a very, very dense rubber, very similar to plastic. It's hard for me to tell. But it is clear, it's see-through. I can actually see the circuit boards inside of it, and it's got some little designs, mainly to make the plastic stronger there so that you can't push it in and break it. But that's pretty cool, I do like that. See-through, you can see the circuit boards, including on the back. I can actually see the little battery. Now the battery is not easily removable, but just looking in the back here, I can see that if this cover was off, I would be able to grab that battery and lift it right out. It almost looks like your standard cell phone battery. Probably easy to remove that. If you need to replace it in the future, might have to take a couple screws off or something like that, but not too bad. So that's nice if it wears down. It is not user replaceable, but it looks like it might not be that hard to replace it. So I like the controller, feels good. Little plastic cover here, which I will definitely take that off. And there is the USB Type-C port on the back side of it here. All right, so I'm going to undo the power cable and plug it in right here behind me. Hopefully it's just long enough for me to reach here and plug this in. And we will plug it in and we'll turn it on for the first time. So plug it in, little power button shows up there. I'm curious if I need the Joy-Cons right away, and I do. So it immediately tells me to connect them. Let's take this little cover off this one. Snap the other one out of the holder, and let's slide them both down. Makes a little audible noise when you snap them down, kind of like a click. That's pretty cool. And it's the exact same noise it makes when the logo comes on the screen and clicks down. So I'm going to set this up first. It is English for me, so A, the Americas. I accept. I will give my life away, I'm sure. Searching for networks. So I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi. Now it does show both my normal Wi-Fi and my 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so that's nice. You can use either or. I personally prefer the 5 gigahertz. So I'll enter my password. Let's hide that from you. Okay, let it connect. And it is connected. All right, so time zone, I am Central Time. So it gives you cities instead of the time zone, but Central Time, Chicago. Would you like to connect the TV and play on larger screen? We will do later. So detaching the Joy-Cons, do not press any additional buttons when detaching, so it shows you how to detach them. and we've already been doing that. Again, you press the little black button right here in the corner of each one. You press and hold that and you just lift it off. So it looks like it's going to force me to do that. Let's see if I can swipe over. Nope, it wants them removed. And now use the left stick to select next, then press A on the controller. So we're going to use the left. They're now paired because we've connected them. That's all you have to do. So now the joystick works. All you have to do to pair them, you just connect them and they're automatically paired. If you're with a friend and he has a controller and you want to use his, you just snap them into yours and now they're paired with yours. So we're going to hit next. And I have to use A on the right controller. You can use the console with the Joy-Con controller attached or detach. Choose the control style you prefer, then continue. The rear stand can be used to prop up the console, so I'm going to leave them attached right now. I think it'll reduce a little glare off the screen if I'm holding it at an angle for y'all. I'm going to hit OK. Set your icon and nickname. We'll do that briefly. So who do I want to be? Pick the fox. Alright, background. I like blue, so I'm going to do some shade of blue. Alright, that'll work. Enter a nickname. So I'm just going to make it my name. Okay. This user will be added to the console. Okay. Additional users can be added if this is to be used with more than one person. All right, we're going to skip that for now, but if you have a family, you can add them in there. Parental controls, I do not need these on. Setup is complete. Press the home button to open the home menu. Insert a game or download software from the Nintendo eShop. Now I have 2 games, however they're both from Amazon, so I will not have them until later this afternoon, so I don't have a game to enter. But this is the home menu. Let's see what's in the eShop. A system update is required, so this is brand new, 2 a.m. on the release day, and there is an update for those of you that are in the US. It could be other locations as well, but if you're in the US, I assume you're going to need this. A system update is available. Update now. Console will restart and suspended software will be closed. Alright, so not sure how long that's going to take. So far, I really like it though. I mean, it feels good. It is definitely portable. It's not as big as a tablet, and the update's already complete. So not bad at all. It's restarting right now. Not bad at all. Like I said though, I think it feels great. It's not big as a full tablet, like if you're using an iPad Pro or something like that. It looks just a little bit bigger, maybe longer than the iPad mini, but not quite as wide as the iPad mini. But the display looks good. I mean, the brightness isn't turned up or anything, I'm sure, but I mean, I can see it great, and I have a lot of studio lights on right now trying to light this all up for y'all. But feels good. So no complaints. I am going to wait until I get the game and then get the dock connected to the TV. Not too hard, just plug in the HDMI, put it on there, and we'll see what it's like. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed my quick unboxing of the Nintendo Switch. It is now 3 a.m. so it's time for me to go to bed. I do apologize, my main camera decided it wanted to turn off halfway through this video, so most of the footage is from my top-down camera. I do have links to everything in this video and a couple of the games that was released with the Switch below. If you don't mind using those links, it helps us new YouTubers. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please hit subscribe, guys. Thank you.